once again. Sunday afternoon, live commentary. We are doing the news. We will be reporting today about people eating faces, about dead animals that we don't eat, that they just get processed, taken to graves. They're just, unknown why they died. We're going to talk about volcanoes. He doesn't know that yet, but we are. Volcanoes that go shooting right up your butthole and come flying right at your mouth. Now, my friend Calvin here, look up, Calvin. Say hello to your audience.
Hello to your audience.
There was nobody upstairs.
You said look up. I looked up. You said say hello to your audience. So I said say hello to your audience. What more do you want from me? I'm doing what you tell me to do.
And I'm the boss, and you can tell who's in charge here. Now, do we have any local news stories? No local any news stories.
We did. And where did you want to start with like the last 2 weeks of animal deaths?
No.
Okay. How about I got a few things about you're asking about the salmon or the fish up in Alaska.
The fish up in Alaska, yes. The salmon, though, yes. I'll tell you what. Let's reserve both those and do a one more news article, and you go do your thing in the bathroom or your computer.
Okay.
And I'll get us a bong hit loaded, and we'll kick back and we'll do some commentary.
All right. Well, keeps refreshing. Give me a moment.
That's okay. It happens. We got to get our news from somewhere, so we got his local BlackBerry, whatever you want, little phone. Garbage, as far as I'm concerned. What I need is my plastic hat. I prefer it to be aluminum foil, but they don't give me aluminum foil bags at the grocery store.
Okay, it looks like Sears bankruptcy appears imminent. So Sears is going under.
Well, that's the news right now. Sears is going under.
And angry bowlers attack an employee with a stool and a bowling ball. That's from Fox News.
Angry? What were they angry at? Is it reported?
Wait, click over to the article. This happened in Michigan. They're still searching for the suspects after a bowling alley employee was attacked. Continue. Oh.
It's time to radicalize.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nah, it's not gonna let me.
It's not gonna let you
right now.
Okay. Well then, go do your bathroom break if you know what that means.
All right.
And I think you can find it. I'm right now. I was in my white and black beard and in charge of the United States government. Now I'm just a crazy psychotic PFC that's living in my basement. At least I think it's a basement. The sun's coming in the window, so it might not be basement, but we need to talk about Fukushima. If radiation is so hot, it takes 300 years to cool down, and that's just the stuff we use and regulated under circumstances. What about all the other stuff out there in that ocean? It is those little particles heating it up? Good question. Cooked from the inside out. Those great microwaves, they do wonders for cooking. Did you find it?
Yep.
Are we online?
Yep.
Okay. Fish kills. Last 2 weeks are animal deaths.
Okay, I'll start with the fish because that's.
We're doing with the salmon, things like that. So do fish kills.
There we go. Okay. Says wild. This is just a list of different pages. So I'm just getting the headline. This is from June. It says wild Atlantic salmon numbers drop for the second straight year. For the last few decades, the number of salmon has been going down.
Okay, but they said record numbers of lows of salmon, and it's been going down for years. And does this? Are they talking extinction level event, catastrophic event with the salmon?
Well, it seems like it. This is from last year, about a year ago. It says salmon populations may have dropped to as little as 10% of their historic numbers. So
10%.
There's only 10% as many salmon as there
had been in the past.
Yeah, and that was last year, so there may be even fewer.
Less.
And let's see, another one from June of this year. Historically, adult salmon returns to the Columbia Basin were at least 10 to 16 million fish annually. Today, across the Northwest, that's down to less than 5% of historic populations of salmon and steelhead. So basically, the article from a year ago said dropped to as little as 10%. This is from the Seattle Times. And then 6 months later, in June this year, it says the fish are down to 5% of their historic level.
5% of their historic level.
And there's been a 30% reduction in the number of harvested salmon.
Oh, 30%. We're down to 5%, but they've only taken the harvesting down 30%. As long as the humans get their fat plate, there's no problem.
They're saying that it's down to 5%, but we have only caught, the total number of fish is down to 5% of what it was, but we have only caught 30% less than the normal, what they catch every year. Which doesn't mean, okay, because there's a 30% increase in the number of salmon spawning, according to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, and there's a 30% reduction in the number of harvested salmon. So basically, they're trying to say that the fish are increasing by 30%, while the fish we're catching is down by 30%. But the total fish altogether is down to only 5%.
Yeah. In other words, this ocean's dying. Do you agree?
Well, I would agree with that 100%.
100%. So you being Calvin, the news the commentary or just bringing the news on, where would you go or what would you do to change the world? What would you do to change not the world, but I'm going to say your little section to improve the ocean? What would you want your local government or your local politician? I'm not sure how to say this, but your local person, what would you want your local community member to do to change what's going on?
The first thing, I would have a zero pollution policy that, you know, the government currently allows a certain level of pollution getting into the water. I would say cut that to zero. Any pollution whatsoever, the reason or cause of the pollution or the people doing the polluting would be it'd be ended. They would be put out of business. It would not be allowed. No pollution whatsoever.
No pollution.
Yeah.
What else would you do?
And that includes you know, all the harmful chemicals and whatnot. I would also, oddly enough, I would eliminate the commercial fishing industry. And if you know, they would still have limits on fishing, but if you wanted fish or crab or any kind of seafood, you would have to go catch it yourself. There would be no commercial fishing industry. And finally, I would pay billions and trillions of dollars to clean up all of the plastic, the islands of plastic that are forming in the oceans, and get rid of those, because those plastics, part of the polluting is all those plastics and
biodegrading and breaking down.
Yeah, all the garbage.
Environment.
Yeah. And I would completely end dumping toxic waste or radioactive waste into the ocean. And
you realize
no more,
most of those things are not economically feasible because we spend $700 billion on defense. Now, if we took $50 billion, we put it on those programs, we might be better off as a people. But we're not going to do that. You know that, right?
Oh, I know that. I mean, that's what I would do, because that's what has to be done. But it's not going to be done because people love money more than they love the planet and animals and life.
Yeah. So now I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do we do bong hits or do we do a big fat joint?
I would say bong hits.
Bong hits coming up. So we did animal deaths a little bit, the fish kill. Look up E&E News. Just E&E News. See if they got any new news articles.
I warn you, though, that the last few times they haven't had any updates to their website, so it would be the same news.
I know, but no, let's just go there to find out.
Okay.
A lot of times they don't have updates, so you wanted bong hits. Bong hits coming up. One big fat bong hit. I'm going to call this bong hit a mixture. I like to call salads 3 or more. Okay? But this is a mixture. It's two different kinds. Anything new on E&E News?
It doesn't look like. I'm checking on the one article that looks like it might be newer. No, that's still the old one from February about the increased levels of radiation from Fukushima.
Okay. Say green.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And now, the Ed and Calvin commentary is going to continue. I'm going to say something. I'm going to turn that off. It's trying to get us.
Here you go, sir.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh. Okay, so Google. Can you go to Google?
Yep.
Go to Google. Get your player ready for Google.
Okay.
I want you to ask Christian apocalyptic holocaustic news or something like that.
Okay, Google. Christian apocalypse. No, shut up. No, I don't care. No, stop talking. Stop talking. Bitch, shut up. Shut up. Thank you. What did you say again?
Christian apocalyptic news.
Okay.
Current Christian apocalyptic news.
Current Christian apocalyptic news.
We are right now looking up current Christian apocalyptic news about face eaters, about dead salmon, about why all the animals are dying, why the earthquakes. So we are doing a bit of research here right now with our bong hits. Yep. I ran out of tinfoil, so I'm defending myself with my hair. Thanks. He's defending himself with a bong hit. We're going to be loading more shortly. So, it's that time. He's looking.
Yep. I'm just like faster way. Here we go. Okay, Google. Christianity end time news. Okay. Yeah, the Christians are really good at promoting the sick stuff.
Yep. And we're going to be making fun of that. All kinds of it.
Yeah. This is mostly this website's mostly political stuff that they claim is
we're not doing political right now.
So that's why I was saying it's taking me a minute because I'm not reading the political stories.
Go for animal kills, undead, zombie apocalypse, anything like that. Jehovah's Witness. Who's at my doorstep now? Is it a zombie or is it a Jehovah? Who the fuck knows this time? Look at my hair.
That's a sign of the end. Yeah.
Uh-huh. As I'm drinking my beer, smoking. Are you gonna take that bong hit, or you already did? Take that bong hit.
Dude, you want me to do like 5 things at once? Read this, read that.
I want why aren't you masturbating in the process?
I was already doing that. Just want me to do additional.
Just don't tell anybody.
You didn't record that, did you?
Well, it's all being recorded. We're live streaming.
Oh, that masturbating thing was just a joke. I wasn't really masturbating
on TV. Yet. We're not a pornography site yet, but we might look into that depending on where the money goes. He might not be open to it, but I'm pretty sure when I beat him down with a couple $1 million in the bag and just force him on the ground, just beat him senseless with it and say, you'll get $10 or $20, he'll be more susceptible. You were willing to let me beat you up with a bag of $100 bills?
No, but I would be happy to hire somebody to let us beat them up and film it.
Oh, beat us up and film
beat them up and
oh, beat them up. You want to hire somebody that we can beat up with bags of $100 bills and beat them up on camera.
Okay, Google. Signs that the end is near. And gave me a bunch of videos, which obviously I can't go into. But yeah, apparently the end is near. As always.
Okay, we're out of the question aspect.
Okay.
We did the salmon. We did some of the animal kill. Go to, I know it's Sunday, but go to PBS, Public Broadcasting Station. That tends to be more reliable. They're basically hired by the public to report the news.
And you think they're going to be reliable?
They're hired by the public. Yeah, I do.
Okay, let's try it.
I said more reliable. I didn't say what they would be reliable.
Oh, you could do PBS or NPR.
No, that's basically either one. I don't care. I don't care. Either one.
All right. And we'll do it this way. Okay, what kind of news?
Just rattle some things off.
I'll just do all the headlines come through, just real quick. Trump is unsure if Defense Secretary Jim Mattis will step down. He's sort of a Democrat, unquote.
Stop.
Okay.
Once you get done with the headline. Trump does desperately want him to step down. And yes, everybody's going to leave. And the giant swamp has taken over. He said he was going to drain the swamp. Well, he did. He drained it of all critters but his own. Next.
Court memos shed light on Michael Bloomberg's role in the New York City's climate crusade. And I don't know what that.
I don't know how to take that. A climate crusade. Okay.
Oh, it says documents show that one of the legal fellows receiving funding from a nonprofit owned by Michael Bloomberg is helping New York City's Exxon litigation. So New York City is suing Exxon, and one of the legal people received money from Michael Bloomberg's nonprofit.
Okay, I have a nonprofit for you. I pay you money to put food on the table. right? And then I have to pay you money for you to remove that food excrement from my toilet or whatever. We are going to change this system. Either you're going to stop eating and sending your shit my way, or I'm going to get rich. I don't care how you look at it. I don't care the way you look at it. Now, that was my commentary to that one.
All right. Oh, I should have done that. I'm getting better at this. This is according to the New York Post. State probes Christmas tree nonprofit for stocking PR firms' coffers. State authorities began probing the Christmas Tree Farmers Association of New York this year and subpoenaed the group's records after allegations surfaced over its spending. State has allocated $970,000 to the organization since 2013, with the latest grant for $625,000 to run through 2021. So basically, this place is getting free money from our government, and now the government was wanting to know why they weren't spending the money the way they wanted them to spend the money.
Oh, because I had to do whores and hookers and a bunch of drugs. Had to buy out politicians. They don't want to tell you that because they're on my payroll, but I'm a low man on the totem pole. I'm just a weirdo living here in my basement here with Calvin. Calvin Beans, he lives upstairs in the house. I'm not sure where that is. I went upstairs once, right over there. Yeah. Oh, up over there. See that railway? That goes upstairs. I went up there. I tried to walk out the door, and I found myself on the roof. Next.
Says Trump's campaign will sell the database of supporters' contact info to any business that is not hostile to the president. Says Donald Trump, this is the raw story from yesterday through NPR, through this app. So I'm trying to get sourcing everything.
Okay.
The campaign of Donald Trump is willing to sell access to its database of his supporters to pretty much anyone who wants to buy it, reports the New York Times. That's, remember, liberal-leaning newspaper.
Right.
In addition to allowing Republicans and conservative groups, the Trump campaign signed a contract to market its massive voter database to private businesses that are not political. This is now available to rent as long as the political group, organization, nonprofit, or business is friendly to the president.
Oh, friendly to the president. I'm friendly, Mr. President. Look at my whiskers. I want to kiss. President Putin. President Putin. Look at me. What am I supposed to do about America? I know you're in charge of Russia too, but I'm an American citizen. Oh, quit kicking us back, this fall guy you call Trump. He's not a Trump card. He's Trump. He's a Trump card. I trumped you, man. Well, President Putin, I'm about coming for you. The Ukraine's looking to, yeah. President Putin, of the United States of America, shape your act up, or we're going to kick both you leaders out. Next.
New York Post. The headline, don't buy the United Nations bullshit. It's not shit, they just said bull. Don't buy the UN's bull. The US isn't killing planet Earth.
The U.S. is not killing planet Earth.
The United Nations and nearly 100 climate scientists from across the globe have issued their latest environmental primal screen. Thanks to climate change, the planet is evidently on a path of unprecedented environmental destruction that will destroy life on Earth as we know it. However, within a generation, we'll be overwhelmed by catastrophic wildfires, rising sea levels, floods, hurricanes, disease, food shortages, and a mass die-off of coral reefs. Now, this is all by Stephen Moore of the New York Post. There hasn't been this much doom and gloom packed in the government report since Jimmy Carter was in the White House and issued the Global 2000 report, which predicted coming Malthusian scarcity. He must be smart. He uses big words. People can make up their own minds about the veracity of these latest predictions, but we already know that the one conclusion of the UN report is dead wrong. This is the script that the United States, and particularly Donald Trump, is the environmental Darth Vader. But in 2017, the country that reduced its greenhouse gas emissions the most wasn't Canada or Britain or Germany or Australia or France, it was the United States. That's right, the one country that pulled out of the phony Paris Climate Accord reduced its carbon emissions by 0.5%, the most of all major countries. And that's impressive given that our economy grew by nearly 3%. In other words, we had more growth and less pollution, the best of all worlds. The major reason for the reduced pollution levels is the shale oil and gas revolution that is transitioning the world to cheap and clean natural gas for electric power. The world's largest emitter of carbon dioxide by far is, can you guess? Can you guess?
What?
China.
Yeah.
Oh,
can I get? Okay.
It just said only 5 of the 25 major nations have even managed to reach 50% of their pollution reduction promise. The country farthest below the target is France. That's all I'm going to read of that.
Well, we did reduction of pollution. Now what we need to do is backrubs. I need one. My friend here is not going to give me one. You see him, you see that asshole. He's going to sit there on his ass, pretend you worked hard yesterday, the day before, and the day before that. I don't care.
I have dirt under my fingernails still.
I have dirt under my fingernails. I want my back rub.
Can you see that? My arm is all scratched up.
I can fix that. I can put sandpaper to it.
I think that's what
How about
happened.
sand? No. Sandpaper. I'll take off the scabs and the skin, and then we'll wrap you up in bandages. And I'll tell you what. I'll just make it simple. We're gonna take your arms and legs. You hungry? Because I want meats for dinner. It's called. I need your arms and legs first, but it's called the alternate pig. But I need your arms and legs. I need your legs because it got more meat, and I need your arms so you can't fight back.
A California bus crash leaves approximately 40 people hurt.
California! You beware those killer buses. They'll hurt you every time. Okay.
Were you? Let me know when you want a joke.
Time for a joke.
Time for a joke? Okay. Where'd it go? Oh. There we go. Click there. Click there. All right. A major asks for the lieutenant. A major arrives at a remote post. Where's your lieutenant? He asks a private. Sir, there isn't a lieutenant assigned to this post. I was told there was. No, sir, no lieutenant here. I'm pretty sure there is. The private thinks about it for a moment. Well, Major, if I may ask you a question, imagine you took the word rifle and removed the letter F. What would remain? Well, rile, I suppose. That's what I thought. And sir, if you took the word draft and removed the letter F, what would remain? Amused, the major answers, drat, I guess. And sir, if you took the word lieutenant and removed the letter F, what would remain? The major says, there is no F in lieutenant. That's what I've been trying to tell you, sir. There is no F in lieutenant.
I liked it. That was good. There was no F in lieutenant. Yep. I liked it. That was good. That was good. That's what I've been trying to tell you. There is no F in lieutenant. Now, we're going to be back on in about 10 minutes. He's going to be more organized. And we're going to go right down through the routine. We've gotten this organized somewhat now. I'm not going to chew him out. He's done a damn good job. But we're going to get a bunch of headlines, and we're going to do that next routine that we did before. Yep. And we're going to read down a bunch of headlines, and I'm going to make commentary. And we'll catch you in about 10 minutes. End stream. End.